The last two videos I've been talking about this program. This is a program in a notepad format, and I will try to remember to put this complete list in the description. But let's see it in action, and let's see what the man is going to be seeing when I go over there and talk to him about drilling holes in this casing instead of cutting thousands and thousands of slits. So let's take a look at that. When you load up PC Basic, what you get is this screen right here, and we want to load. That's not working. Now let's see if it will work. Load hole 1. Oops. Alright, it's loaded. Let's list it out. And there's our program. Let's CLS list. Now we can see pretty much the whole program. Line 70, next size, is the last line in the program. Below that it says OK. So we are going to there we go. Going to clear the screen. You've seen the program. Let's run the program. In our first sequence, you can see that we have the 1/8 of an inch, and then we have 34 calculations showing him how many inches of pipe are being cut away from the thing. And then if he has 9 segments, he'll have 38.25. On the second set, where we start off with a 1/4 inch, so we're doubling our size, and as you can see, we went from 38 inches of pipe removed to 76 inches, and this is just with a 1/4 inch pipe, 1/4 inch drill, drilling through the PVC. On this next one, this is 3/8 of an inch. This is when I was saying if I was going to drill a well and put in a casing, I would run with 3/8 to 5/8 inch. Using a 3/8 inch drill, at the end of the day, after we put in 34 holes in a 9-line array on the tubing, we'd have 114 inches of pipe that was gone. Bending down here onto this, if we go 1/2 inch, we have 153 inches gone. Here we have almost 200 inches of pipe cut away. This is why you need to use a larger diameter pipe for your casing if you want to have 9 lines on it. Because remember, that's going to be 9 inches when we get up to the 1-inch drill. That's going to be 9 inches of plastic that's being removed. So you have to have enough to make it strong. 3/4 of an inch, we have 230 basically inches of pipe that's been cut away. And with 1 inch, we have 267 inches of pipe cut away. Or with 1 inch, we have, I stand corrected, with 1 inch we have 306 inches of PVC pipe cut away. That's a lot of pipe. That's a lot of water that can get in. 300 inches of water, pretty good size. Let's look at the program itself. We'll go through it line by line. Okay. Line 10, it doesn't show on my screen, so let me get up here where I can grab it. Line 10, we have 3 variables. We have hole, flag, sizer, and total. Okay, four variables. Hole is what we're actually drilling in the pipe each time we make a hole in our 34 iterations of increasing pipe being cut away. Flag is a counter so that I can reset to 0 my hole size and have it accurate as it increments by 1/8 of an inch. Sizer is a default which allows the computer to bypass some stuff because it gets an internal error in the program. And then the total up there is because there's an internal error in the program. Sometimes computers get these, and when they do, you just have to make a workaround. Line 15, for size equals 1 to 8, we're going to be boring 8 different sizes from 1/8 inch to 1 inch, or 8/8. And we're going to do that 8 times to see how much pipe is being cut away. Now we have our counter for A equals 1 to 34. That's the 36 inches of screen that he has, but we only have 34 inches that are usable. So we're going to print the size of the hole that's been drilled. And then if sizer is greater than 7, go to 41. This is going to take care of an internal error. If you don't have line 31 in there, it's not going to work. If you don't have line 31 in there, this program will get an internal error. And then your hole equals hole plus 125. Now we're going to go to 45. We're going to skip over the 41. We're going to skip over 40. We're going to skip down to 45. It's the next day, and then we just keep drilling these 1/8 inch holes all the way through this thing, but we're adding the amount of pipe that's being cut away instead of just showing a 1/8 inch hole. If sizer is larger than 7, we go to 41, and now hole equals hole plus 1. This gets rid of that internal error that I told you that exists. Somebody that's really smart at computer programming, this is back when I was learning Fortran, told me that sometimes computers will just get a glitch in them, and there's nothing you can do except to write workarounds in the software. People that are really good on computers might have an explanation as to why you can get an internal error in a program, but you can. Okay, so anyway, we're going to be bouncing from line 20, A to 34, to line 45 next day until we work out those 34 functions. We have 46, which is a print. Print just puts a space between our calculations, and then the total number of water inlet into the pipe is total times 34 times 9. Now the total is the size of the hole that's being cut. In this case it's 1/8 inch. So 1/8 inch times 34 gives you the total down your string of 34 holes. Well, we have an array of 9 holes, so it gives you that. This is another one of those internal errors that the computer just has. Okay, we go back to flag, which I told you is a counter. Flag equals flag plus 1, hole equals 0, and total equals total plus 125. So we've incremented our 1/8 inch hole by another 1/8. And if sizer is greater than or equal to 7, go to 65, otherwise go to 60. Here we're going to set the hole to the next 1/8 inch size. So we have hole equals hole plus 125 times flag. Flag is our counter, and it tells us which iteration we're in as to how many eighths of an inch we're drilling or removing from the tubing. And then the input X is just a control to hang on to the program so it doesn't run away and just scroll 10,000 numbers we can't see. And then we do the next size where it bounces back up here to line 15, and at line 15 it starts the process all over again. Now this may look kind of convoluted. I tried to write this as simply as I could. It has a lot of variables in it, the hole, the flag, the size, or the total, but we keep using these all over and over and over again. We have the conditional statements in line 31. If sizer is greater than 7, go to 41. If sizer is less than 41, less than 7, it will drop to line 40. And on line 40 there was a conditional go to 45. That way we get rid of some of these internal errors that showed up. The original program that I wrote didn't have any of these conditional statements, and it kept getting an internal error. And I tried everything under the sun that I could think of to fix it, and it wouldn't go away. This is why some people are programmers and some people are not. And I'm one of those, I'm not a programmer. This is going to conclude section 3 of building a casing for a well. I'm going to show you one more thing, just explain it to you. If you're making a cut, let's say with a miter saw, and it's 1/16 inch wide, if you make a cut, it's 1/16 of an inch wide, and it's 3 inches long, you have 3/16 of a cut of pipe that's been removed. All you have to do is take your 1/16 and count up how many inches of cut you have, and that tells you how much pipe you've removed in 16ths. And if you'll go online and look up well screens, you'll find these things with these finely cut holes in them, and they are just incredibly expensive. The advantage they have over drilling holes is the fact that they have more surface area to let water into. A disadvantage they have over drilling holes into PVC pipe, as I've described, is the cost. When you're going to be using something like a miter saw and cutting these lines in, there's still a good possibility that you would be getting a lot of silt and sand coming through those things, depending upon the particle size that you're dealing with. There's a film on YouTube, and I'd cite it if I could remember it, and a guy is basically in, you'd call it muck, it's like quicksand. Lots of water there, but he didn't understand what he was doing, and he also used the wrong size gravel. And I should probably cover that real quick too before I go anywhere. And as a result of that, the sand was coming right through his screen, and his well would work for a day or two, and then it would fill with sand, and it was worthless. Let's deal with particle size for just a moment. If you put a rock in there, and that rock is 1 square inch, you can take that 1 square inch and you can cut it into halves, and you'll have 4 pieces. Each square, as you know, has 6 sides. It has 4 sides, a top and a bottom. Well, you've just multiplied that surface by 4. When you go from large rock to small rock, you increase the surface area inside a hole anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times, maybe even 10,000 times, depending upon how small these rocks are that you're placing between the sand bed where the water's coming in and your filter screen. These act as a sieve to slow down or retard the movement of the sand, but allow the water to come through and reach your screen and get inside your well. If you remember in the second part, the second section of this on engineering a unique well, I noted that you get, when you have rock in a body of water, you lose 48% of the volume due to the rock being there, assuming that it's packed reasonably tight. In addition to that, you also lose water because the water sticks to it. You're going to have the same thing around your well screen when you add all these small particles, these small pea-sized gravel in there around in the annulus around the outside of your well screen. I hope you enjoyed these 3 films. I'm sorry for belaboring points. But as an educator, which is what I did for the Army for the last 20 years I was an instructor, and I found that repetition is the best way to drive home a point and to explain it multiple different ways so that the clarification that I'm trying to provide is there. If you saw my film 6 on Amelia Earhart, you noticed I kept messing up the crossing of the international time zone. As an instructor, getting across a point about something can be sometimes extremely difficult, and in the case of the international date line, because I've never actually done it except in navigation problems, I have problems with it as well. But I understand how important it is that you understand foundational basics. If you understand theory, you can solve almost any problem. If you don't know theory, you can't do it. So I'll get off my soapbox. This is the first day of 2021. I want to wish everyone a good new year. Y'all take care. Dysfunctional Vet out.